Throughout the process of creating the parts to make up our final product, digital technology helped massively from presenting, researching and construction of our main and ancillary tasks. First of all, I had to gain the basic information about film trailers, posters and magazines through research. YouTube was a digital platform I used for a variety of reasons, such as it being a convenient way to discover trailers belonging to a variety of genre, age groups and film companies, helping me gain the codes and conventions of different media styles. As YouTube is a social network site, it allowed me to read the comments of viewers stating what they liked and disliked. For example, Ryan Hollinger stated, "I love how it implies two very different tones about Goodman's character in 10 Cloverfield Lane." By seeing this on YouTube, it inspired me to give a similar effect to my own trailer, as Lily's character in The Seeker is portrayed as conflicted in being able to confide in her two best friends, Tori and Liam. This real media text in the YouTube comment therefore inspired me to develop my narrative by having characters who show off different tones towards Lily, one where they're both her friends and ones where they are suspected as antagonists. Not only did I watch YouTube videos, but I also used it to present my STAs. Two of my similar text analysis on trailers were videos edited on Final Pro Cut 10. By freezing the footage and inserting either speech or text into the video about specific points as they were occurring in the trailer. Final Cut Pro 10 was a creative use of digital technology, as it helped me deliver my analysis in a visual way, where the trailer could clearly be seen as I was analysing rather than using print screens and large amounts of text explaining the context of my trailer, such as soundtrack and dialogue. YouTube then let me present my trailers quickly and for free, allowing me to allow people to comment their views on specific details such as missing scene and camera shots. The main digital presenting software I used was SlideShare, Prezi and eMaze. These made the presenting of information in my research clearer and more creative because I could add pictures and colours to deliver information in a unique way, which portrayed my research with visuals to convey factors such as genres. Prezi and eMaze in particular helped with providing templates, and this inspired me to use these to present the topic of interest with patterns related to it. For example, I presented my STA for About Time and the model of a clock, relating to the movie's theme of time. Also, with this, Pictochart was a creative way of making digital posters for planning my section, where I made character profiles. It helped me present information about the characters Tori and Liam in a simple yet intriguing way. I used images to create a collage of their appearances in the background to reflect their personalities, such as the starry blue sky for Tori. It encapsulates her cold yet delicate personality, which is hard to see. SurveyNuts was an extremely useful digital technology to design our questionnaire and then ask people to participate in. I made it by inserting my questions into the box after selecting what type of question, open, I would be asking. Along with this, I could also preview my questions whilst I was writing them, meaning that it was easy to see how my questions would look. If we had printed out sheets to ask people to fill them in handwritten, then it would have taken longer to fill them out. We would have had to tally up their answers and it would have taken more time to discover the most popular responses. SurveyNuts clearly put the answers into bar and pie graphs, along with stating percentage, making it clear to what the majority was in a quick visual graph. Digital technology was therefore useful here as it presented us with all the results at once, making it simple to analyse our results, which helped massively when forming our narrative and planning. Along with this, we could ask a variety of people by sending a link on social media platforms such as WhatsApp or Snapchat, rather than having to track people down or to gain back their results. Overall, we used SurveyNuts to decrease the waiting time for responses and the effort of tallying up answers manually. Moving on to planning, the storyboard was a very important factor to consider whilst planning our trailer, as we needed a visual depiction of what would happen in its narrative. We digitally made a storyboard to convey our plotline with visuals, which are single-frame shots representing the scene and the trailer as a whole, that were taken with the digital camera and text. Social network played a massive role in planning. My group and I created 2 WhatsApp groups, One was for the cast and crew to inform them of the days, times and locations we were filming. The other was just for my group, allowing us to discuss the coursework out of school and making sure that everyone was clear on things such as what we did in lessons if one of us were absent, or staying after school to film or edit. I also used Snapchat to ask people's opinions, such as their views of my ancillary tasks and what could be done to improve it. This was useful as it created organisation so we could keep a digital record of our conversations that was easy to scroll back through. It also made us able to communicate out of school, making it easier to plan in advance when we would be filming and editing. As well as this, it was extremely useful for informing others when we were on Wix, as this was a downfall to this digital software, as only one person could be on at a time. If we informed the others when we were on the site, it would decrease the risk of lost work. For filming, we used 2 cameras. The first and main one was the DSLR, a digital high-resolution camera, which was great for both filming and photography as it had a 2.4.2 megapixel D2 sensor and was adapted for action shots. We used it in manual to have control over shutter speed, aperture and ISO whilst filming, as it gave us more ability to pick how we chose to film creative shots. For example, we intended our park scene to be dark, causing tension, so we were able to adjust the exposure, letting less light to be captured whilst filming. Along with this, there were scenes that had to change focus. If the camera was automatic, we wouldn't have been able to do this, meaning we used manual settings to control the depth of field. Another technique we used was the shaky camera angle, such as when the camera was following the seeker to cause tension, as it's just before the trailer takes a darker turn. The camera therefore was used for dramatic technique, performing more than the function of filming. Another camera we used was the GoPro, a digital camera that is shake-free, meaning it is excellent for filming action shots. We used this camera at the beginning of construction, using its fisheye lens to symbolise the weary seeker who is looking out for anything around them, along with giving the effect that the camera is acting through their eyes, linking to the theme of finding the truth. However, we eventually cut these scenes out because my group and I mutually agreed that these shots didn't fit in with the narrative as a whole. Rode microphones were used by attaching them to the camera to capture dialogue without it sounding pitchy, and avoiding the noises of external factors such as cars driving by or other students. These help record clearer sounds, and we used them to make our trailer look more professional. The studio was also used for voiceovers when we needed to refilm dialogue and the rules of hide and seek being explained at the beginning of our trailer for a clearer narrative. We used this to correct mistakes in sound to help the audience understand what was going on in the trailer. For construction, we used 2 types of editing software, Final Cut Pro 10 and Photoshop. We used Final Cut to edit our trailer by putting in the shots on the timeline and using a blade tool to cut the clips and fit them into the pace of our music. This was essential as our soundtrack helped convey the thoughts and feelings of the protagonist, such as Paris singing "I'm watching, I'm waiting" over the long shots of Lily spying on Liam as he disappears down the dark steps with a black hoodie on. We also matched the actions happening in the montage, such as Lily slamming the locker to the beat of our song, causing it to be powerful and creative. Final Cut was then useful for editing our trailer, as it offered a range of effects to put on clips, which wouldn't be available if we used other editing software, such as the twitch effect of Lily during the montage as the camera pans around her face in a close-up to portray her as unstable and stressed. We also inserted a sound effect such as the boom when there's a close-up of Aiden before the production logos, helping create tension and engaging the audience by making them intrigued. In the roundabout section, we adjusted the speed, decreasing it by 25% to make it more cinematic as Lily discovers Aiden is dead, causing our trailer to be more thrilling. Also in the park scenes as a whole, as created a filter by corrupting the hue saturations of the full colours, causing it to be grimier. Final Cut let us save this filter so we could add it into all of the park shots, causing consistency and an overall unnerving effect on the viewer. Final Cut helped us greatly by letting us create a professional trailer with a variety of tools, such as one which stabilized our clips and effects like the letterbox effect, which increased our creative skills and caused it to look more like a real media trailer. For the ancillary tasks, we used Photoshop to edit photos and create the film poster and magazines. The end product of our poster, we changed the hue and saturation of our photos, causing Tori to be blue and Liam to be red, and Lily to be a neutral grey colour. This is because we wanted our poster to reflect the genre of drama, meaning the colour scheme reflected police sirens, conveying the idea of danger and emergency. I used the slice tool to cut and deselect half of Tori and Liam's faces before dragging them over the layer of Lily so that eyes reached either side of Lily's, emphasising all three of them looking for something. But as Lily's face is the most shown, it makes it clear that she is the protagonist and the character most determined to find out what happened to Aidan. I lowered the opacity of Tori and Liam to 35%, while Lily's face remained at 100%, emphasising her to be the main character and making our poster creative as it can be interpreted in two different ways. The first being because Tori and Liam are less focused than Lily, they are less apparent, or the second is the two being on Lily's mind as they're to her two main suspects. By using this digital software, we managed to edit a unique poster which reflected the narrative of our story, whilst making it persuade the audience with the danger-associated colours. I was inspired by the poster The Railway Man and how the poster used its opacity to add the main images while conveying the idea of the two main characters trying to find someone or something. All of the information we found on the project, or the projects we were created, were presented on Wix. This is a digital ring binder which allowed us to insert our research, planning and final products onto the pages we created by different sections located by digital buttons. We used Wix to make all of our work easy to navigate, along with it being sorted into one place which was easy to access. On my Wix page there are also things to help the website easier to use, such as anchors and the home bar always being found at the top of the page, which I did myself. It is a creative and attractive digital ring binder which we use to keep our work neat and presentable.